Welcome to the Schaefer Method, the guide to your health. This is level 8. All right, the 5 essentials to life. That's food, sleep, water, oxygen, and sunlight. Without them, we do not live our existence and our planet. The 5 essentials to life: food, sleep, water, oxygen, and sunlight. My goal is to help you and guide you to improving those 5 things. Those 5 things are required for us to even be alive. So I put them at a high priority, way ahead of a lot of other things that we have in our life. Not that those aren't important, it's just not as important as these 5 things that are required to be alive. Now we'll cover our exercise and activity also, which can help improve and enhance our life. Who is level 8 for? Level 8 is for that person that has done a lot to improve their health, has tried many different types of maybe health plans, or have sought a lot of information to try to improve their health. This process should take about 1 to 2 weeks. If it takes longer than that, that's fine. Just don't rush through it. Try to improve and make the adjustments. Do your best to satisfy all the needs and all the goals for each level before moving on. Expect change. Expect to do some things differently. Expect to be challenged by the task at hand, but also expect to improve in your energy, your weight, your strength, and your sleep. Breakfast, our goal is to reduce all the processed packaged foods, to replace it with very nourishing, fresh foods as much as we possibly can. Trying to eliminate the sugars and starches and carbohydrates early in the morning, this way that we don't crave them later on the day. Now, it's not to say those things are all bad, it's just that we tend to eat a lot of sugary things early, and that's all we want all day long. So my goal is to show people that if they eat really hearty in the morning, they'll tend to snack less on the less appropriate foods later in the day. Breakfast is 7 out of 7 days, so our goal is to get every day breakfast locked down. Make that a benchmark to always achieve. And breakfast is easy to get anywhere and to achieve as long as you understand what you're looking for. We can use protein shakes if needed during breakfast. Something I don't want everybody to rely on all the time. I really believe in real food and whole food as much as possible. But shakes can come in as a handy, especially when life gets busy and we get behind or we're rushing from time to time. Please use shakes at that point, and you can find some shakes in the products page. I really like soup for breakfast, stews and soups for breakfast. Women tend to really overeat the eggs, and I challenge you to try to get other types of protein in the morning, and soup is the best way. A vegetable with some chicken or beef or pork or even fish, soup can do wonders for your energy, and just make you feel good in the morning and well nourished. Lunch is designed to, once again, reduce that processed and packaged foods and to eat fresh. So my goal for lunch is always a salad. If it gets the raw vegetables in, it's easy to get the proteins in, and so you can get a salad about anywhere. When it comes to dressings, just try to keep them low in carbohydrates, and try to keep them more natural with less. If you can read the label and you can't read half or understand half the words on the label, good chances that's probably not the best dressing. Now, then again, don't overthink it either. Don't stress out about it. But if you really want to motivate yourself and really learn about food, make your own dressings. There's a million recipes online that are great, and there's a lot of really good dressing recipes out there. Now for lunch, we're going to try to get 6 out of 7 days, and so that means 1 day of that 7-day period you're allowed to have some flexibility. But for the most part, lunch should be solid and on most days. Dinner, our goal is to start to clean up our day. Now when it comes to dinner, our dinner meal shouldn't be super heavy. It shouldn't be a ton of food. If you're really hungry by dinner, most likely you didn't eat breakfast and lunch appropriately, and you didn't utilize the snacks when needed. So our goal during dinner is to reduce the processed box foods and bag type foods, and to eat more fresh, so more lean proteins and vegetables. Some fruits are fine. And we're going to do this 3 out of 7 days. This will be really good for people that are trying to lose weight, lose body fat, also to gain strength. Also, this can really help people sleep. So you'd be surprised how well you'll start sleeping when you start reducing those foods out of your diet. Now, snacks. Snacks are 1 to 3 snacks per day from the list provided. And if you feel like you need more than 3 snacks, most likely you're not eating enough protein for breakfast or lunch. And we just need to increase that a little bit. That'll satisfy your needs, and you won't feel the need to snack as often. Our snacks will be 6 out of 7 days, so it's most days I want you to really be on target with your snacks, which is just fruits and vegetables and lean meats. Eggs are really good. Hard-boiled eggs are great for snacks. And then you get 1 day to slough off just a little bit. Now be careful with the nuts and dried fruits because they're easy to overconsume. And like I said, most likely you're not eating enough of the other foods for lunch and breakfast to satisfy that need. Now, dried fruit can, if we're trying to lose weight, dried fruit can be a deterrent towards that. So just be careful with the dried fruit for that. I'd rather eat a regular piece of fruit versus the dried fruit because of the sugar content. Water is 7 out of 7 days. Now, by this point, you should be hydrating properly or close to properly already. But this will be a step a phase where I want you to find your hydration level. What is good for you? And the safe rule of thumb is to take your body weight, divide it by 2, and put it in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, divide that by 2, which is 75. So your ideal body or water would be 75 ounces per day. But honestly, it's going to be individualized. So if you want to experiment, try a little bit more, see how you feel. Try a little less, see how you feel. And now it's time for you to start to learn where is that ideal zone for you. Proper hydration can really help your energy. It helps you reduce the sugary drinks, the poorer drinks that we may choose otherwise. It also can really help with constipation. So what I like to do every single morning is I get up and as soon as I wake up, I have a glass of water, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 ounces of water, whatever you want. Just take a big glass of water, drink it down about a half an hour, 40 minutes before you eat breakfast. And it can really start getting your body moving. It'll feel good, and it's a good way to start your day and start out being very hydrated. Sleep, which is one of my favorite things to do. Ideally, most people need between 6 and 8 hours. Now, once again, we're getting to this place now where it's time for you to find your own ideal sleep number, how many hours you need for ideal function. The better we sleep, the more we recover. The less we're going to age. It's for beauty, it's for recovery, it's for energy. It's crucial. So if you want to stay looking young and you want to stay looking fit, get a good quality sleep. Now, this is 7 out of 7 nights. So every night I want you to attempt to give yourself 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Well, once again, find out what works for you. If 8 hours is what works for you, then really do your best to work on that 8 hours each night. Keep your room as dark as you can. Try to keep the electronics off. I don't like TVs and video games and computers in my room. It really can interfere with the brain waves. It can interfere with our eyes being distracted from the light, which can affect our melatonin production, which can affect our sleep. So about an hour before we go to bed, we try to get all the computers off. We try to get the TVs off, the cell phones away, maybe read, talk about the day, whatever it is, just to quiet our mind down so that we can sleep better. It will help for long term, and it'll help for if you're sick, it'll help preventing getting sick, and you just feel really good from that. Now, if you do have a problem sleeping, 2 to 3 Epsom salt baths per week can really help a lot. 2 to 3 cups of salt per bath, and do that for half an hour, about an hour before you go to bed, and it can really dramatically help improve sleep. The magnesium within the Epsom salt is really good for relaxing your body. It's also really good for digestion. So if you have constipation, a lot of water and a little bit of magnesium goes a long ways. And now that you're eating a lot more fruits and vegetables in your diet, fiber shouldn't be a problem. So there's a lot of things that should start to help improve that digestion, and magnesium's a powerful one that can do that. Oxygen. All right, so when I talk about oxygen, I really want you to focus on air quality and breathing. Air quality in some major cities is not very good, but still it's usually better than it is inside the house or the office. Most of the time inside your house and your office, the air quality is not nearly as good as it is outside, just because of all the things we have inside of our houses. So if at any times you have the ability and the possibilities to go outside and take a nice few deep breaths, then please do so. Now, the few exceptions are if you live next to a factory or next to a railroad tracks where they're doing coal work or something. That might be an exception to the poor air quality outside. But for the most part, breathing outside is going to be better. So open up your windows in your house, let the air flow in. It's usually it's going to really help out the oxygen and air quality within your house. So I'm challenging here to get outside, preferably, and take a few deep breaths. Just relax, 5, 10, 20 minutes, and it can do wonders for your health. And it will just help you feel better and reduce stress in your life. Now, this oxygen will be 5 out of 7 days. So most days I want you to just take a few moments to yourself and go out there and just take a few deep breaths and learn and practice to relax and enjoy the peacefulness of being outside. All right, sunlight. Now the sun makes me happy. I absolutely love being in the sun. I just smile thinking about it. The sun is our friend. Without it, our planet would not exist. So we've been misled a lot by how bad the sun is for us, and the truth is it's really not that bad for us. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have to be responsible when we're in the sun, but for the most part, the sun is very, 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 very helpful for health. So we all need some level of sun. With that said and done, too much sun can also be bad. So you go outside and you fry yourself after 12 hours of laying in the sun at 110 degrees. Now that's just irresponsible. So what I'm looking for here is that you get outside and get as much sun, especially in those winter months when the sadness is starting to kick in and you're getting a little sluggish. So those are the times we get out and get that 15-20 minutes of sunlight. It can be so helpful to improve our mood. It helps us prevent us from getting sick. It increases vitamin D in our body. So practice getting sunlight. Now, when you are going to overdo the sun, sunscreen can be used. And now I recommend people to avoid it most of the time and just cover up. Use protective clothing. Now, if you are going to use sunscreen, please try to find a sunscreen that has less, it's more natural, that has less chemicals in it that you can't pronounce again and that can cause ill effects to your health. Now, I want you to get out there 3 out of 7 days, to get out there and get yourself 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of sun. If you have darker complexion, darker skin people need a little bit more sun to get the health benefits, to get the optimal health benefits. The lighter fair skin people, they can get a little bit less and still get the health benefits with less sun. So exercise and activity is 4 to 7 days of 7 days. So if you're just new to exercise and it's your first time, you get 4 days this next 7 days to be active. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go out and go to the gym and start beating yourself up. It just means you got to start moving your body. If it's just for walks, if it's hikes, if it's biking, if it's picking up a Pilates tape, whatever it is, just start getting your body moving. Now, if you're already doing 7 days and you've been active all the time, that's great. But I do encourage both groups, the beginners and the people that are more into exercise, to watch the video on the exercise page and determine a really good starting point for you to start your exercise. Extra effort. Now, during the extra efforts, we've had you do a lot of different things in the past, open doors, do grateful logs, just appreciate the things that we have in our lives. Well, this one is going to be changing house filters. Quite often people forget to do that or don't do it often enough. So our air filters usually need to be changed either from 1 to every 3 months, depending on the use. And your water filters can go up to 6 months, but some filters require to be changed a little bit more often than that. So please change your water filters and your air filters. We use these to improve our health, but then people are irresponsible and don't change them, which is then bad for our health. So if we're going to have it, let's use it and let's take care of it properly. All right, feel free to contact me anytime if you have questions. Please finish all of level 8 before you move on. And think of these levels as resetting your default. It's re-teaching yourself to do it a different way this time. We're here because usually we want to improve something about ourselves. And that thing that we're trying to improve was your old default, and we're trying to reset and reestablish a new default. And that is a continuous process. You'll continue that your entire life just to improve who you are as a person. It might not always be in health. It might be in a relationship. It might be in a job. For whatever reason, we're always going to try to improve basically where our status is at and just improve the quality of us as a person. Once you finish this level, please go down to the bottom, click level complete, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at level 9.